Hey, good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Crypto Chat UK. Now, there's been loads of stuff going on, but before I actually talk about some of the events, the market itself, a couple of people that I really think you should be listening to. Now, there's a lot of YouTubers out there. Some are just general gurus, generally experienced in the market. Some are pretty much idiots, a bit like myself. And others are absolutely phenomenal. They do it as a career. They've done markets as careers. They know about trading and etc. Whether it's long-term, short-term, they know about it. Now, there is few people that I watch for the fun side of it, the jokey side of it, but also some of them do know what they're talking about. So I'm going to go through just two in particular that I have been watching religiously at the moment, and that's particularly with the way the market's gone, and because you need that expert type influence. There is others that I watch, of course, but these two I recommend to you massively. Whether you're a long-term trader or a day trader or a bit of both, you definitely should be listening to these two. Okay, definitely worth a watch. Yeah, definitely apologize. I've had to make a load of changes in the business at the moment, so I'm more on the tools. I've had to embrace a bit of shrinkage. I think one day I'll come on and tell you all about what I have to do in the day. It's ridiculous. But I did want to come on. But there's loads of people been on. There's loads of people been on doing your stuff with cryptos anyway. So you didn't need me. You didn't need me, did you? But I've come on because I want to talk about a few things. There is one other fun thing that I look at. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, it is awesome. It's so funny. And I want to have a look at the market as well, of course. But first of all, with the way the market's gone, there is some day traders that have been, or some traders, should I say, not necessarily just day traders, but traders that are phenomenal. One of the guys who knows his stuff, and I'll shrink it down and show you, right? Here's the market anyway. We're going to take a look back at this on coinmarketcap.com later on. But you have got to listen and look at, as far as I'm concerned. Don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, nor is he. So obviously do your own research, do your own due diligence, check out these markets yourself, and educate yourself. If you are an experienced crypto by now, you're probably pretty knowledgeable anyway, and you actually consciously understand where it's going to be in the future. If you're not, or if you're not sure, just fill in any gaps you can. Get as much info as you can. Try not to be misinformed, of course. Make sure you corroborate any information you're given. Definitely look at it. You need to be knowing about this market. It is phenomenal. And, you know, one day I'm going to do another video on basically the way it's going, the whole kind of crypto verse, you know, the crypto influencers, the crypto market itself, but everything to do with where it's going. I mean, it is massive. It is a complete movement. The crypto movement is amazing. There's loads of little things I'm going to show you now. But Crypto Kirby himself, day trader, or he's a trader himself. He reads the markets. This guy is phenomenal. He knows his stuff. Took me a bit of getting used to when I was watching him. But if you haven't seen Crypto Kirby already, you have to watch him. He knows his stuff. He is quite funny as well. He's pretty funny. But he's very knowledgeable, and he reads the markets. There was one thing that he checked on, which is, I mean, we talk about the parabolic advance. I talked about the parabolic. There's one video about being parabolic. It is mentioned a lot more by a lot of YouTubers now. But it was Peter Brandt, a long-term stock market investor. He loves any markets, basically, and he looks for opportunities, of course. Now, he talked about his parabolic advance coming. I mentioned it about 3 months ago or so. Can't remember when my videos, I'd have to have a look. But I mentioned it about 3 or 4 months ago and did it and showed you an article about Peter Brandt and what he was saying. And he's totally right. I mean, he was totally right. I mean, and this is what's been happening right now. I forget what he predicted the price of Bitcoin at the end of the year. I don't know if he did predict it, but phenomenal stuff. Now, you check back through that. If you want, check back through my videos and look at the one where I talk about the parabolic movement. There is a lot more people mentioning it since Peter Brandt came out with that. But it is true. It is relevant. So at the end of the day. But Crypto Kirby, there is one, briefly, he did mention about an ascending triangle. And he did spot this before anybody else did. Okay, and he spotted where the trend was going to be. He spotted how the trend was going to go, and he was doing some longs, and he was doing some investing. He's skimmed off some great profits at the moment. But if you watch his videos, I would watch the last, certainly if you've not seen him, I would certainly watch the last half a dozen to a dozen videos. Certainly the last 6 to 8 videos, and it comes up to this movement that we've had recently. So definitely Crypto Kirby Trade. Now, you've heard me mention this guy before, Alessio Rastani. Now he's great because if you kind of balance out Alessio Rastani and Crypto Kirby, you've got kind of two slightly conflicting sometimes. Sometimes they run together, their opinion, but slightly conflicting. But they're giving you some great kind of abilities to to read the market in the way. They're giving you basically the probabilities, and they're giving you a great info to try and make your own decision then. So you can make your own decision which way you want to go. But they're very informative, and they are experts. As far as I'm concerned, these two are essential in your list of people that you look out for, watch, and listen to. I respect these completely. Crypto Kirby, I have been watching religiously. Alessio now, I've been watching religiously as well. I love these guys. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to carry on watching them. So I'd suggest you guys do the same. There is other ones, obviously. I still watch Crypto Dailies. Absolutely, he's great. He's got better and better, and he's so funny as well. But his videos, I mean, they're just amazing. I love them. But them three, definitely. And there is more. Before I just have a quick look at how the market's been going, there's also one more thing on YouTube. Bitcoin and Friends. If you've not seen it yet, this is so well put together. It took them a while to get episode 2, but episode 1, you've got to watch it. And Bitcoin, the character in it, is so lovable. I mean, he's awesome. I love it. I mean, I love Bitcoin anyway. I mean, I didn't need this character to love Bitcoin, but I do love Bitcoin. And this is, I mean, these are phenomenal. You know, you've got to watch them, and I think they're just going to get better and better. But they are basically telling the story of Bitcoin. There is some side videos, some promotional videos they do, Bitcoin talking, and they call him B. But if you haven't seen it already, definitely watch. Okay, it is definitely worth a watch. I'm going to share it on my Facebook later on, my personal Facebook, definitely later on. Okay, so we've had a look. Alessio Rastani, don't forget. Crypto Kirby, don't forget. Put them on your list. To be honest, I'm a long-term holder. Okay, but Crypto Kirby's got some very good points. You know, I've kind of always thought, even before seeing Crypto Kirby, I kind of always thought I wouldn't mind dabbling with the day trading. So a lot of people do. There's a lot of people lose out. So I'm overly cautious with it. You know, if I'm going to do any day trade, I want to be 100% sure I can at least reduce the risk, because a lot of people lose out because they go in all gung ho. They don't educate themselves enough. Now I've learned quite a lot, but I still don't feel ready to hit it hard. But I think for me, it's in most part, it's actually time. It's actually time. But one person that'll advance you if you are thinking about doing it is Crypto Kirby. This chap will advance your trading abilities, and it will give you a lot of good knowledge. He is very good, even on he has a private area, VIP area, which I haven't joined yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I'm going to look into it. But even with his daily videos, that gives you a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. I've learned a lot just by watching his videos the last few months, and it is amazing. And don't forget, Alessio Rastani the same. This guy is so professional, it's unbelievable. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the market now, because it's absolutely crazy. It's gone mad. And if you look at it, if you look at Bitcoin, for example, coming on 10,695, we're looking at this drop that's going to occur, this pullback. Okay, you know, more than likely people are going to skim off a lot of profits. So there has been a drop already. Will that continue? I don't know, because it has been crazy. Now, if you look at it, if you look at this recent raise, we're at over 11k. Okay, as far as I know, we're going to have a closer look at it. But if you just look at it, before I zoom in on the market, you look at this, the parabolic idea. It almost copies. It almost copies what was happening in late 2017. How it went completely bananas. You know, it went up to just, well, it went to 20k at some point. It was just over 20k. And this now is over halfway back. Don't forget, we dropped down to $3,100. Okay. I mean, obviously, if you go back further, obviously it was a lot less. If you look at, I think early 2017, it was, you know, below $1,000. But it dropped down to $3,100. Okay. Somewhere around this area, December the 15th, 2018, something like that. Yeah, I thought it was later than that. But anyway, so around that time. And then we've had this substantial, amazing movement. But if you just look at it, it does almost copy. It almost copies what was happening there. So this parabolic thing that we've been talking about, you know, it's there, guys. It's there. And don't forget what I've said about, I don't know if you can see it in the screen now, but what I've said about Bitcoin and Litecoin's harmony. If you look at the history, obviously we always know that history might not repeat itself. But if you look at the history of it, a year or so before, quite often, I say quite often, we've only had 2 halvings for Bitcoin, I think, so far, and we're on the second one for Litecoin coming up. But even like a year before, people accumulate, and we do have this huge raise. And I think that's going to happen. Of course, we do have, from what I've seen, you might have to have a look yourself to confirm it. I've not got the graphs here, but from what I've seen, then afterwards there's a bit of a pullback just after the halving, just people pulling profits out from what they've had. Okay, for what they've got, but then it grows again. So then they have a after a day or two, or within a week of the halving happening, people seem to pull profits out. They accumulate way before, they pull profits out just after, and then it carries on going up at a substantial rate, steadier. That's what it's done in the past, steadier. But we'll see what happens there. I mean, it's only 44 days for Litecoin, and there's 335 days for Bitcoin. That'll go really fast, guys. It's going down quickly. I set these clocks at 400 odd days and 100 odd days for Litecoin, and we've got to keep an eye on that. And this, in my opinion, is part of it. Part of this movement, the parabolic movement that we've had, this kind of copy of 2017, it's happening. You know, it's happening. Now, with me taking a bit of a short, I'm hoping for a pullback anyway. But if we have a look here, if we just zoom in a little bit more, so we're looking at, in fact, we might lower that. Just let that load up. My internet's a bit poor down here. Crypto Kirby spotted this here. He was reading the market super well. I mean, this guy's, I love the way he does it, actually, to be honest. You have got to watch him. You will learn a lot from him. You will learn a lot from him. Now, it did go to, if we have a look here, it went to over 11,000 anyway. I think a bit higher than that. But over 11,000, 11,001, 11,200. And now it's had this little brief drop fall here. Now, we're over the resistance levels. I haven't really gauged it. If we just zoom in a bit more. So if you look in here, some substantial movement. I am looking for a drop. I'm looking for like a good drop. Now, if you look at Alessio Rastani, he talks about various things, including a kind of concept around another fall. I forgot what it's called now. I forgot what it's called. But he's talking about a few things, okay? And, you know, what we're looking at here is if Rastani's right, if Alessio Rastani is right, if what he's proposing, possibly. Don't forget, he as well only looks at probabilities and what's more likely and less likely and so forth, and look at what can happen. Because don't forget, the markets are not easy to read. You're looking at professionals who you've probably got the best possible outcome from when you look at their suggestions and the way they read it. But he has certainly suggested a pullback of, I would say, 30-40% or more. I mean, obviously, between 30 and 60%, we could easily get that pullback. I'd be looking for that and looking to gain some more. Me, personally, I'm probably going to go in. If it does drop to about 8,000, I'm going to be happy about that, and I'm going in more with that at about 8,000. I don't care if it drops even further. I don't care if it drops to 6,000. But I think $3,100 has been the bottom. I don't think it's ever going to go below that again. Now, I might be proven wrong, don't forget, but I don't believe it'll ever go below $3,100 again. So I think that's about it for Bitcoin for its lowest point now, which is amazing. If you think that in 2017 it was less than $1,000 at the beginning of 2017, and now it's at over 10,000. So, you know, if you look at some of these guys anyway, they're going to be looking at, you know, resistance levels, and it's the guys I watch like this. I go and have a look at the market. I do a little bit of market reading myself in the background. I don't tend to put it on my videos. I'll leave that to all them guys. So, you know, they spend enough time on it. I can't spend every day on this. I can't spend hours on it. I can't spend time doing it in the day. But when I do look at them, some of these guys really know the stuff. So, again, Alessio Rastani, Crypto Kirby, definitely. But if we do get a pullback, now, Crypto Kirby, I watched the video, I think, this morning of him, and he's kind of believing that it potentially could bounce. Now, he's taking his money out at the moment. He did a long from $8,400, and obviously with the way it went up, obviously these guys look at the stop losses. Very important, you know, look at the stop losses. That's one of the biggest failures of people who trade, particularly day traders or people like that. They don't set the stop losses, and that's where they lose a lot of money. You have got to protect your investment to a degree where you are reducing your risk by setting your stop losses. But with the gains that it had, they could just keep setting higher stop positions. They could just set it higher, so they're in profit anyway. And if it just continues to grow, just keep setting them stop losses at higher points, and they're in profit, and they're not going to lose that way. So when it has movement like this, it's easier to do that. It's much easier. They've seen what they've seen. They've read the market, and if it goes in the direction that their belief is, then obviously it's really good for them. Of course it is, but they've set the stop losses just in case. And because it goes so high, it's so substantial, the movement, they can keep setting their stop losses higher and higher, and that means that they're clearly in profit and they're not going to lose out. Okay, profit wise. Nobody could spot the very top. Nobody could spot the very bottom. You'd be very lucky if you did. But they do work hard on it. Now, guys, okay, have a look at it. Don't forget, look at Bitcoin and Friends. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely love it. I will be on with some more videos very soon. I am looking at a load of websites that you should be looking at. I'm going to do a list. I'm going to do a list on the board. I'm going to give you a list. There is so many out there. You can be lost in the world of, you know, cryptocurrencies and what kind of websites are best to look at. But there is some great ones out there, which I'll go through, and I'm going to put a list on the board and bring it to you. I hope some of this info has helped you. I hope you're enjoying the gains at the moment. And don't forget the halving is coming. So if you are investing, don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, but as far as I'm concerned, when them drops come, it is time to invest. It is time to get in there. So if you're a long-term investor, that's for sure. If you are going to day trading and stuff like that, there is opportunities here, massive ones. You've just missed one if you haven't been in. You've just missed a massive opportunity there, of course, because it's gone massive. And if you are going to do any of that, whether you are long-term holding, whether you are day trading and trying to maximize your profits, or if you're doing a bit of both, which is, I don't think anything wrong with that. I think you could have a multiple strategy. I have done a video about that, so a multiple strategy is fine. Don't forget to take all these considerations, okay? Don't forget to take considerations of, let me just close this over here, something's popped up. Don't forget of the halvenings, of what's happening in the future, next 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10 years. Don't forget how many companies and even domestic, you know, just your normal retail people who are involved in this market. This isn't a fad, okay? I'm saying this now again. This isn't a fad. It isn't going away. This market is here to stay. And Bitcoin in particular, the kingpin as far as I'm concerned, is here for good. Certainly in my lifetime. I just wish I could live long enough to see it in 100 years. It'd be amazing. All right, guys. Well, take it easy. I will be speaking to you soon. And invest well. Do the job correctly. Take in all the information. And make sure you're well informed, okay? If you did like this video, hit the like button. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I will be back on very soon. Take it easy, guys.